Love your red glasses.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we shall get started. Today is the joy of being uncomfortable. And if you have never been on the Zoom in with me, get ready for a fun ride. Hi. So you have noticed that on the picture that, oh my gosh, Kate is joining us. Hi, Kate. The picture that I used for the graphic, it was my last photo shoot that I did. And what I did, because I wanted to be a different energy, I wanted to play with new energies. I took off my shirt and I was just wearing my jacket on top of my bra. And I played with the sensations, with the energy. Of course, I was not really naked, but it was a different way of being than what I was used to. And it created so much joy. Actually, the photographer says that he had so much fun. I made them laugh, and I was being me more than I've ever had been. So I wanted to talk about how getting in that space of being uncomfortable is going to create that joy, that expansion that many of us are looking for. Now, if you're looking for pain and suffering, then this is not a Zoom webinar for you. But if you are interested in expanding your life, in having more joy, more money, more sex, more people in your life, then you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. And I know that a lot of people talk about getting out of your comfort zone. Now, when I hear that expression, I don't know about you, but I cringe, right? Like it's just something really not fun about getting out of a comfort zone because, oh, you have no sound. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Okay. So there is something not really fun about getting out of your comfort zone. First of all, if I'm in my comfort zone, then somehow it's because I like it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in my comfort zone, then there's got to be something fun about this. Otherwise, I would not have chosen it. So why would I try to force myself to get out of my comfort zone? That for me does not work. Now, getting uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, now that's exciting for me because it's a new space to go and explore. So I'm not so much interested in getting you out of your comfort zone, but I'm much more interested in getting you towards something that you're going to enjoy and have fun with. Are you ready for that? Yes? Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So I was listening to Dane here, Dr. Dane here, who's one of the founders of Access Consciousness, talk about being uncomfortable after letting go of stuck points of view, solid points of views, things that we made really, really true and solid for us. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you are doing any kind of work on yourself or in your life, if you want to improve your life in some way, then most likely you are letting go of points of views, beliefs, thoughts, emotions that you used to function from. So let's say, for instance, that you grew up with parents who told you that you had to work really hard to make money, and you have let go of that. Yay for you. Now you are free of that thought that you have to work hard to make money. Sorry, I'm trying to handle the call at the same time that I'm speaking. That's why I get interrupted. So if you have had that growing up, then now you're ready to let go of it. Now you're ready to say, okay, I'm not going to work hard. Working hard is not for me, and I'm just going to enjoy life. Cool, that's awesome. Now that could be uncomfortable because you've let go of a big chunk in your life that is no longer there, which is that you have to work hard. And I remember the way that I reacted to people who still thought that they had to work hard at the beginning was that I got mad. I got mad that some people were like, well, I work hard at this, so I deserve it. I got really upset. And that tells you that you are now in an uncomfortable space. So getting angry is one of the ways that we react to being uncomfortable. What other ways? How do you know that you are uncomfortable? Anyone?
A hide.
Sometimes I get confused.
You hide. You're getting confused. The person with a 520 number, you were making a little noise, so I muted you, but you're now unmuted if you want to talk. So getting confused, hiding, that's a really good symptoms that you are getting uncomfortable, right? So let's talk about hiding, because that's probably the most common one. So hiding is like, can you really hide? So look at who you are as a person, look at what you're creating in the world, and really ask yourself, can I really hide? Even if you hide behind your computer, like right now, I'm not seeing many faces on the call. Does that mean that you're hiding? No, your presence is big and I can feel it. I can sense it. You're making an impact in my universe, even if you don't want to show your face, right? So truth, can you really hide? Not really. So even if you are trying to hide when you're uncomfortable, it's not going to work very well. So just give it up. Stop hiding. Right, Jackie? Stop hiding. What else? You said...
I had a situation.
Yeah, go ahead.
On Saturday, I was part of a fashion show and had to model 7 outfits and, had to run and change.
Wow.
And I was really excited about it. It's my first time modeling and all of those things. But I realized it was an awesome group of people. They were friendly and clapped and whatever. But I noticed that as I was walking to go up on the stage, I didn't do things that, I would normally do, twirl around and giggle and whatever. I was so conscious. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I realized I was uncomfortable and I didn't really expect that because I'm very, playful with my friends and I laugh and I joke and I'll say silly things. And we went in a limousine. We had so much fun. And
so can I ask you a
was
question?
really surprised at that, at my reaction of, so I think I was hiding in some way.
Well, so were you hiding, or were you aware that maybe all the things twirling, like giggling and all of that, were not required in that situation?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. What if that was because a fashion show is about the clothes? It's not about you.
Yeah.
And so if you actually do those things, then suddenly it becomes about you. It does not really become about the clothes.
Thanks for pointing that out, because somebody said, oh, look at Paige. She's jumping around and she's doing this and she's doing that. And then another person said, when she walked, 3 people gave her the high five and said she did really well. And there was a part of me like, oh my God, I probably didn't do well. And,
Who cares? I mean, is it that important? First of all, who cares, right? And then second of all, well, these people made it about them, not about the clothes. So maybe you were doing a better job, but differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just want to point out that so many times we make ourselves wrong for being uncomfortable. And is that really going to change anything? No, it's not going to change anything. If you're making yourself wrong, you're actually not going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
So everywhere that you are judging yourselves for being uncomfortable, will you please and create and destroy it all? Times Gaza. Why am I good, bad, pak, pardon, nice, posh, short, and beyond, right?
Yeah.
And instead, ask yourself, cool, how can I use that to my advantage? And this, I'm sure that this was a great advantage to the clothes that were being modeled.
Yes, I did notice that people mentioned the outfits that I was wearing. So thank you
Woo!
for pointing that out. Yeah.
Yay, Jackie! That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. The person who said confusion when they were thinking about the being uncomfortable brought confusion to them. Can you give me a little bit more information about what you mean about that?
Yes, Sophie, that was me. It's Sharon.
Yes.
Sometimes, maybe confusion wasn't the right word, but for instance, the example that you used, if you have to work hard and now you realize you don't actually have to work hard,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do now.
Right.
I see that it's a wide open field. Okay, but what now?
Right. Okay. So when you're talking, I love that space, by the way, Sharon. So what you're talking about is the space of infinite possibilities. Now everything is possible, and
Yes.
you're wondering, what am I going to choose? So this is not
And
being.
yes, and how do I get close to a choice?
Right. Okay. Awesome. Is there? I'm trying to figure out who has noise in the background. Oh, it's person August. So I'm going to mute you. Okay, perfect. So this is so cool because what happens when we let go of all the solidity, all the points of views that did not work for us before, then we
Yes.
have that space of infinite possibilities. And just like Sharon said, we're like, what am I going to choose now? And that is awesome. First of all, can you just acknowledge that now you have a choice when most people don't even consider that they have a choice? Do you get that?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Now, there is no wrong or right choice. So it does not matter what you choose because it's not a wrong or right choice. And a choice is only valid for 10 seconds. So you're going to make a choice and you're going to say, oh, that just works for me. Great. Now you can keep making that choice, or you can make another choice, or you're going to make a choice and you're like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. Then you're going to stop and make another choice. So all that matters is you start making a choice. It doesn't matter what choice. It could be, I'm going to lay in bed all day. It could be, I'm going to call 10 friends. It could be, I'm going to go travel to the other side of the world, or go see how my neighbor is doing. It does not matter what your choice is, just make a choice.
And so also, as you were talking, what I was realizing was, as you said, there's no wrong choice.
Yeah.
But choice will give you movement or space.
Uh-huh.
And every choice, whether you don't like it or whether you do like it, will always lead to something else.
Yes. Well, and sometimes it will and sometimes it won't, right? So if you choose to stay in bed all day, it may not bring you something else except maybe just rest, right? It may just give you, like, your body is resting.
It might not take you in the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you let's say you made that choice, now at least you can say, okay, I know I don't want this. What would I like? What don't I like about this? What would I like? What's the opposite of this?
Yeah. So here's what you guys have to realize. The choice creates an awareness, but it does not necessarily create a result. It creates an awareness, right? So let's say you choose to not get up in the morning. Now you have the awareness of, okay, either my body needed to rest, or wow, I'm really bored. I actually don't want to stay in bed all day, right? So you get an awareness, but it does not necessarily go and create something. It just brings you information. Now with that information, you can ask a question, or you can directly make another choice. Oh, okay, so my body needed to rest. Cool. How long does my body need to rest for? Or, oh, wow, I'm really bored. Okay, I'm going to get up now. So it's going to give you a different choice, a different possibility. And I want to remind everybody, this is the joy of being uncomfortable. So what if you made a game out of this, right? How many choices can you make in one day and be aware of the choices you're making? Make it a game, make it fun for you.
Okay, that sounds like fun, actually.
Yeah. Or like, so a little bit earlier, because I speak French, I also do these Zoominars in French. And earlier with the French group, we were talking about how somebody did not want to say or do the wrong thing. So what I told them to do is I said, would you please spend a day trying to do the worst thing possible? Like mess up as much as possible, do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing as much as you can. Of course, they all giggle, they all laugh because they're like, oh my God, it's going to be so insane. But what happens when you do that, when you do that thing that you're afraid is going to happen, you actually let go of resistance. You let go of resistance, and now you're going to have even more choices available. Because if you no longer resist doing things the wrong way or doing the worst thing possible, then you actually now going to see what is truly possible. But if you are afraid of doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing, you're never going to say what could create more. You're never going to have those choices possible. So I wonder how much fun you could have playing with, wow, what if today I did the worst thing possible? Like, for instance, being late at a meeting when you're never late, or eating ice cream for breakfast, or telling somebody, I'm sorry, honey, I love you so much, but you complain way too much. And it's been 20 years you've been wanting to tell them that. Or like all these things that you're like, oh my gosh, it's so bad, it's so terrible, I can't do that. Do them. I give you permission if you need one.
Sophie?
Yes, Jackie?
Can you talk a little more about doing the wrong thing and letting go of resistance?
Yes. Okay. So once you start doing the wrong thing, so let's say, let's see. Okay. I did a Zoominar recently where actually there was not a lot of people, and the people that were on were very, very quiet. So pretty much I talked the whole time, and I love interacting with people. So that was a really, really interesting thing for me. And it felt at the beginning when I was doing it, when I kept talking and nobody was interacting with me, I felt it was wrong. Something was wrong. People did not want to talk to me, and I really felt wrong. But I was like, you know what? I'm in it. I'm just going to go through it and do it, right? And what occurred was I actually was able to acknowledge, wow, I spoke for 30 minutes almost nonstop. I know a lot of shit on the subject. Like I realized, wait a second, I know a lot of stuff here that I didn't know I knew. So because I let go of doing the wrong thing, which was for me in my world, talking too long, then suddenly I was able to see, oh, I was no longer resisting speaking so long, and I was able to see, oh, I actually know a lot of things. I was able to acknowledge myself. So that's something I would like you guys to do too, is what if you did something, what you think is wrong about you, do it, enjoy it, and then ask yourself, okay, what did I refuse to see here? Is it that you are actually amazing and brilliant? Or is it that you know a lot of stuff? Is it that you're really good at what you do? Because a lot of time, because we are so afraid of being bad, we're so afraid of saying the wrong thing, because we forget that we actually are so good that we know what bad looks like, right? You can know what bad looks like if you were not really good. So when you allow yourself to be bad, then you know, oh, wait a second, I actually never do that. I'm so good at what I do. You know what I mean? Like it's just a way of putting that thing that you refuse to look at in front of you so that you can see what's behind it. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So I would like, so I gave you already a few things you guys can do, but I would really love it if you made a list of things that you do all the time the same way, or that you think are normal in your life. So for instance, it could be eating 3 meals a day. It could be brushing your teeth at night. It could be hugging your kids every day. It could be posting on Facebook because your business needs to be active on Facebook. It could be, asking questions because Access Consciousness says you have to ask a lot of questions, all of that. And I would like you to do the opposite of it, right? So like for an hour, because I don't know if you can last more than an hour, don't ask any questions, right? Or don't tell your kids you love them, or don't hug your kids, or don't do the dishes. Like all this stuff, like just play with it, have fun with it, and first of all, see how easy it is for you to do the opposite, that it's not a big deal, and it may create more, I know Dane gave us a challenge. Dane here gave us a challenge last week. I don't know how many of you played with it, but he asked us to be as mediocre as we could be for one day. He said, go ahead and be as mediocre as you can be. And for many of us who tried the game, we realized, wow, we actually have a very high demand for no mediocrity in our world. We actually do not do mediocrity. It was brilliant because it was such a great way to acknowledge ourselves. So go ahead and do those things that scare you. And I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word scary because now you're going to resist it. So what I would say is do those things that you're so familiar with, do the opposite of them. Like changing hands to brush your teeth, or speaking a different language. If you speak only one language, learn one sentence in a different language and go out in the world and say that sentence. Like whatever it is that you are nervous about, or that you feel so how to do this thing, now you're going to go do it some other way.
Can you give examples of mediocre that some people have chosen?
Okay, mediocre is like not smiling, not making any jokes, not petting my dog, eating food that's terrible, not wearing red, screaming at my kids. Mediocre is, not acknowledging myself and, saying that my business is not good enough, needs to be more. And, that.
No.
Did you get the energy of that?
Oh gosh, I couldn't do it for 20 minutes.
I know. I really tried. I was like, oh.
Forget it.
Yeah, exactly. But it also it was so cool to be like, wow, I am actually, it's very rare for me to choose mediocrity. And when I do choose mediocrity, I hate it, right? I feel like so yucky. I feel like it's just not me anymore. Okay, so on Facebook there's been this excuse me. For the last few days on Facebook, there was this really interesting campaign called the Me Too campaign, and many people participated, and it was eye-opening for sure. But it created this really interesting energy. So I think the goal of the campaign was to bring up a topic so that we could start conversations around it, which in my world, it definitely happened. But I've also seen that to be used to kind of remind people to remind themselves they were victims. And I don't like that energy very much. So this morning I was asking myself, well, what different energy can I be? Now, the reason I said there is a difference between being uncomfortable and doing the opposite of what everybody else wants you to do. So don't be a bitch or an asshole. And I'm really using these words the way that they're meant to be, okay? What I mean by that is don't tell people, well, I'm sorry, but you're playing the victim and you really should see that you're not a victim here. Don't say that. Don't do that to people. It's not because people are being victim that you should tell them to stop being a victim, because they're not going to hear it and it's going to hurt them. It's not going to create anything. So being uncomfortable for me around the Me Too campaign actually was letting people be in the energy that they chose to be without judgment, without any point of view about it, just letting them be. That was very uncomfortable for me. But then this morning, it allowed me to be in that space of what else can I contribute to the world? And I don't know if you saw, but my question was, okay, so tell me what makes you happy today? And it was awesome. And people commented on what makes them happy. And it was so cool. And it was so funny because I put it both in French and English, but I think Facebook translates automatically. So a lot of you did not see you were posting under the French post and vice versa. So it was really interesting to have that energy. But I did not want to say, because of the Me Too campaign, now I'm asking you to look at what makes you happy, because it was not that. It was just, I wanted to be an energy that was bringing something different on Facebook news feeds. And what's really cool is as soon as I did that, I saw that 2, 3, 4, 5 of my colleagues did something similar with different type of questions, but that brought a different energy. So being uncomfortable is definitely not always being the opposite of what everybody else wants you to be. In fact, being the opposite of what everybody else wants you to be is usually not going to create anything great, right? It's really about going above and beyond that polarity, that polarity of good or bad, right or wrong, going above and beyond that, and really being, okay, cool. I see how people are functioning and what they're saying and what they're doing, and I'm going to honor and respect that and bring them another possibility, invite them to another space, right? That could be really uncomfortable because you may be the only one there for a while. You may be the only one be like, hey, look at me. I'm over there. I'm flying. Want to come fly? And people are going to be like, no, I have to work hard. I have to suffer. I have to be in pain. Like that's going to happen for a while. And that could be uncomfortable. But at one point, you're going to be like, oh, that person just smiled because of something I said. Cool. That's awesome. Like, and then you get the energy rolling and suddenly people are starting to notice you. I don't know. I know, Jackie, you've known me for a few months or longer than that. How long have you known me?
Probably a year or so.
A year or so, okay.
Yeah.
And I've been doing Access Consciousness. I've been facilitating Access Consciousness classes for a little bit over 6 years now. And I started making videos about 4 or 5 years, like a lot of videos. I have about 1,100 videos on YouTube. So I've been making a lot of videos. And I was complaining after a couple of years that those videos were not creating anything. Like nobody was, I mean, people were watching them, but there was no result. I couldn't see any results. So I was complaining about that. And Dane told me, he said, well, you're creating for the future. Now that's an uncomfortable space to be in because, you know, we're taught here instant gratification, right? So I do something, I want to see right away. I want to see the result. And I don't. That's uncomfortable. Now, does that mean I'm going to stop making the videos? No, I kept going and I made even more videos and more videos. And today, about 80% of the people who either participate in my programs or take sessions with me come to me from my videos, right? So it took me 4 or 5 years before that started happening. But creating for the future was uncomfortable. So what else? What else is uncomfortable for you that you now would like to have more ease and joy and fun with it?
Mm-hmm.
Doing live, Facebook Live.
Facebook Lives, cool,
Yeah, doing
cool.
videos. I'll do it once off and then I will sit for weeks. And I know there's something holding me back about that. And
What's
I
holding you
did
back?
a Facebook Live a few days ago, and it took me 20 minutes. I went to the washroom 3 times to check my hair before I did it. I was like, what the hell is this about? So,
Nice, nice. Okay, so what's stopping you from making more live videos?
the judgment
Of whom?
of myself,
Yeah.
Um,
Now, if you're judging yourself, so let's say you judge your hair is not good enough, okay, to do a Facebook Live. Like, why does it matter? Because you live with your hair, you see yourself every day. So why does it matter to you that your hair is not good enough?
I don't think it's my hair. I think I believe I'm very uncomfortable because I have many teeth missing.
Okay, so your teeth. So let's say it's your teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
So why does it matter? So, I use a lot of humor when I do things, and if there's something about me that's weird, like for instance, I have a double chin, so sometimes I'll be like, like I'll make faces. I'm French, and in America, they decided that French people are dirty. So a lot of times when I make a joke, when I start something, I'll say, "Don't worry, I took a shower this morning." Like, I'll just make a joke about things, right? So let's say that you are uncomfortable about your teeth. So how could you use that to your advantage?
I haven't even thought about that. I
Yeah.
think it's more like an unconscious thing.
Well, okay, but is it really possible? Okay, so are you conscious? Are you a conscious person, or are you an unconscious person?
I'm conscious.
Okay, so if you're aware that you're using those teeth to limit you, now
Yeah.
you're not going to continue using that, because that will be going back toward unconsciousness, and
Yeah.
that's mediocrity.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go back to that. So now you're going to be like, okay, cool. I'm sensitive about my teeth, or there's something going on there that
Yeah.
I'm not addressing.
Yeah.
Cool. So you could use humor. You
Yeah.
could actually make a whole video about, maybe like make the video here at the beginning and say, I want to make a video to you, but the thing is, I'm really self-conscious about my teeth. So I decided, why don't I make a video without showing my teeth, right? So you could do that, and then at the end, show your teeth. So that creates this little like interest and, curiosity, things like that. What else? What else could you do? How could you use this to your advantage?
I guess that's one of the reasons I'm going to the happy mouth class.
Yeah. What I would say too is, I would say, like same thing, I would start the video like this, and I would be like, there is something really, really special about me, but I'm not sure yet if I'm ready to tell you about that, because it's so special, it's so amazing and so unique that you may want to have it too, and you can't have it because it's really unique. Now, aren't you curious to know what that is? Right? You're curious now, right? And then you'll be like, I have the best smile ever. You know what I mean? And then you smile, right? Or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I would just use that to my advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that could be the joy of being uncomfortable, would be looking at what is it about you that you don't necessarily like or enjoy, but that it wouldn't mean that you would have to go back to unconsciousness if you use it to stop yourself. So what you're going to do now, you're simply going to use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of my first videos I made, I was in my pajamas. There was almost no light because it was at night, and my kids were sleeping, so I couldn't speak very loud. So I made the video like this, right? and it was a video to invite people to my first foundation class. There's a woman who saw the video and who was like, I love it. I'm signing up for it. Because she's like, if you can make that kind of video to promote your business, I want to know more about you. Because it was so different and so not professional. So use it to your advantage. It's often everything you think is wrong about you is actually what's right about you. And you do have a beautiful smile, Jackie. I love your smile.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Anything else that makes you uncomfortable that you would like some help with?
I have a quick thing that I want to say about
Go ahead.
About the Me Too. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I read a little bit about what the person said, and then there was a reply from somebody whom I know, and I read a little bit about it, and then I just sort of bypassed it. And I was later thinking about it, and I was surprised I bypassed it because I didn't comment because I was sexually abused too, and it seems like a thing of the past. And today I saw a post from somebody else who was talking about it and is calling people who are interested in that on her radio show. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my question is, it doesn't seem to be affecting me, so I don't even know what I'm saying here or whatever.
Is your question about what is this going to create in the world? I can tell you.
I don't even know what my question is.
Okay.
I'm
Well, it's okay. It's okay, Jackie. But the thing is, like, those kind of topics are uncomfortable. We have to look at that. We'll have to look at the fact that they are uncomfortable. And if I start telling you guys, find joy in sexual harassment or assault, you're going to be like, you're crazy, Sophie, right? Now, I would never say that, but I would say, what joy can you find in people, revealing things that they thought they had to keep silent? What joy can you find in people being willing now to let go of shame and guilt and blame? That's where I would find the joy, right? Because for me, it's all about also the joy of this world. There's nothing fun about the events that people are describing with the Me Too. Nothing fun. But there is a lot of benefits that at least these people are wanting to have by doing this. And I applaud that. I applaud the people that are willing to say, I'm not at ease doing this. It's not comfortable doing this, but I'm still going to post it. I'm going to post about this because I think it's going to create something more. Awesome. And I applaud that. I did not necessarily choose to do my thing about it, but I applaud that people are wanting to create something different in the world. And that's where it brings me joy, not what they're talking about. Does that help?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for this.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love doing this stuff, right? You know me.
Thank you.
And being uncomfortable. So we talked earlier about how it shows up, right? Confused and what else did we say? We stop ourselves. We don't really want to choose. So there's another way that we do by being, what happens when we know we're uncomfortable is we are looking for something to fill the space that is suddenly in front of us. So we talked about choices earlier, and I said a choice is only for 10 seconds, or I said there's no wrong or bad choice. So you can make any choice you want. Well, what I see people do is then they're like, okay, cool, now I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to have this in my life. And now that's going to be solid because you so want to get rid of that sense of being uncomfortable that you're going to fill the space. So my challenge to you is, what if now you chose to always have space and never try to fill it up with something? So even if you choose something that create something great in your life, still don't fill up the space with that thing. Even if you choose to get married, even if you choose to move across the world, even if you choose to start a new business, it doesn't have to fill that space. You can continue to have infinite choice, even if you choose those choices I just mentioned. I hope that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll be, it's no fun. I've already filled my space with stuff, so no fun. And we want to keep the fun. We want to keep the joy. Always, always. Any questions that you guys have?
You know, Sophie,
Yes.
I'm just thinking, can you talk a little bit about the difference of avoidance?
And what? Avoidance and what?
And just using uncomfortable as an avoidance. And
Oh.
you know, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't always realize that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so being uncomfortable is actually the opposite of avoidance. When you're being uncomfortable, you're not avoiding anything.
You're going forward with it, and okay.
So you can't do avoidance and be uncomfortable. Those two don't match. They don't work together.
Okay.
But it's really great question, because also what happens when you're willing to be uncomfortable, the universe is going to give you a whole lot of things to be uncomfortable about, right? And in those things, there are going to be topics that you are not necessarily wanting to talk about, or you're not necessarily to look at the fact that maybe you were unkind, or maybe you're being selfish, or maybe you want to be superior, maybe you want the attention, and you're not willing to look at that. Instead, you say, oh, it's bad to be selfish, it's bad to want the attention, it's bad to be unkind. No, if you judge those things, then you will never be able to actually go beyond that. So you have to look at it, and in staying with the uncomfortable, be like, okay, cool, this is now in front of me, let's ask some questions here. Okay, why was I unkind? What was I trying to create by being unkind? What is getting the attention? What is that going to create? Once you're in that space, man, go for it. It's going to be intense. It's going to be big. And that's how you're going to create more. And I want to say something. I have I'm having a motorcycle right now. I have a great respect for other modalities that, you know, I did a lot of law of attraction and EFT and all this stuff before I came to Access Consciousness. And I have a lot of respect for those because they already bring so much. But there is a tendency to always want to go toward what feels good and happy and light and fun, and not really look at what is in front of us and say, oh, that's not the right choice, I'm going to choose something else because it's not comfortable, it's not what I want, so I'm going to look at something else. I'm sorry, but you're actually not going to be able to expand your life if you're not willing to look at what you have in front of you, what you have created, what's going on. If you are not willing to look at that and say, okay, that was an interesting choice, what am I creating here? What else is possible that I have not considered yet? If you're not willing to look at that, you're going to keep recreating that situation and just keep avoiding that situation. So this is where being willing to be uncomfortable is going to be important so that you can move forward. Otherwise, forget it. What's the point?
Exactly. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. Well, this is good. So I've had a few people pop in and out. I don't know if anyone else has another question. Okay, so there is one person who had messaged me her question earlier. And it was a very interesting question because this is somebody who's worked with me for a few months, and she has really done a great job at acknowledging her capacities, acknowledging who she is in the world, what she wants to choose, what she's choosing, and having those choices show up. Yet she's not choosing what she's asking for. So let's say she's asked for more time to do more things in her life. The time is showing up, and then she goes and do something else, or more ease with people in her life, and then new people are showing up, and then she goes to the old people that are awful and terrible. So she keeps not wanting to go toward those choices that she's been asking for. And I would like to say to her and to anybody who may be in a similar situation, that, my friend, is not choosing to be uncomfortable. Now, I'm not going to push you forward. I'm not going to give you a kick in the butt and say, go for it, because it's not going to work. It's something you're going to have to do for yourself. So here's what you're going to do. When you don't want to choose it, okay? So when you feel like, okay, I don't want to go to this meeting because these people are boring and they always talk about the same thing and they never bring anything to my life. I just don't want to go to that meeting. Go to that meeting. Go to that meeting until the point where you are so bored that you're like, I've got to do something. And suddenly you be the energy that changes the meeting. You now, at some point, if you keep doing those things that you don't want to do, at some point, you're going to be the energy that changes it. But if you keep not going toward those choices that you could be making, if you keep avoiding them and going in the direction where it's more comfortable, you're never going to be that change. You're never going to be that change for yourself and for others. Okay. Hey, Kate, I see that you had your hand up. Oh, somebody wants to say something?
I wanted to ask about that.
Oh, go for it, Kate.
So, how does that work with heavy and light then? Because you're saying,
Yes.
well, do this thing that it doesn't really feel light to you to do, but do it anyway, and then no.
Yeah. So when it's for the people who may not know the tools, if something is light, it's true for you. If it's heavy, it's a lie. So you say, okay, so I want to do something. I ask myself, well, what will it create? And it's heavy. Then the problem is that we stop there. What if you said, okay, what is heavy about it? What is it about this that is heavy for me? Because what you're looking for is you're looking for the lie. You're not looking, You're not looking for whether to go or not to go, but you're looking for the lie with the light and heavy. So you've got to say, okay, what is it about this that is a lie for me? Is it that I need to do this? Or is it that if I do this, it's going to take too much of my time? Or is it that if I do this, I'm going to go meet some people that I don't want to meet? Like, what is it about this choice that is a lie? And when you look at it that way, instead of saying, oh, well, it's heavy, I'm not going to do it, then you're going to see those things you don't want to see. You may start getting more uncomfortable because those are the things you were refusing to look at. Does that make sense?
Yes. Although usually when I play with that heavy and light tool, I just kind of look at the energy of it and I don't get as specific about it.
Yeah. Exactly. And so just get more specific. If you play with the light and heavy tool, if something is heavy, be more specific. Now, there is a tool in Access that I love to use, which is, if I buy this, will it make me money? And one day I was in a store and I saw this beautiful dress and I loved it and it fit me well. And I asked myself, if I buy this dress, will it make me money? And it was super heavy. So I could have said, okay, I'm not going to buy the dress because apparently it's not going to make me money. But what I did instead is I said, okay, what part of buying this dress is not going to make me money? And what I realized is that I had decided that if I wear this dress, I'm going to look like somebody who's younger than me. So I'm 44 years old. I would look like a 20-year-old, and I'm not 20. So I don't want people to like say, oh, this is weird on you. So basically, I had all these judgments that were attached to that dress. So what I did is I spent a good like 15, 20 minutes pock and potting. So using the clearing statement of access consciousness to change all these points of views, all these judgments I had about wearing that dress, about what that dress meant. And then I asked the question again. And I asked, okay, if I buy you, will it make me money? And it was really funny because as I was asking that question, I got a PayPal notification that I had made money. So it had made me money. I did not even need to buy it, but it had already made me money in the time that I was considering buying it. Does that make sense? Do you see what I mean?
Yes, and it's interesting because I have 2 pairs of shoes that I ordered from Nordstrom sitting in a box. And I was driving around in my car with them in the back today, contemplating whether or not to buy one pair of them. They're the same, they're in different colors. And I kept saying, you know, would you make me money? And I realized now when you're talking about it, if I look at that again, part of the judgment is when I think about the one pair of shoes, they're gold loafers.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't really have the kind of life right now that requires those shoes, and it's a judgment about it. I think if I was doing press junkets and flying around the world, I would wear those shoes all the time. Am I really going to wear them for how my life is right this moment, right? So there's judgment in that.
Yeah, and will these shoes create a different future for you?
Well, I was thinking that too because of what you said earlier about future. Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. I love it.
Merci.
Oh my gosh, this is such an awesome call. Thank you so much for those questions, for your presence, for who you're being in the world, because I'm having fun. Thank you. This is great.
Thanks,
This
Sophie.
is really great. All right.
Sophie.
Yes, go ahead.
I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Well, thank you all for being on the call. We're coming toward the end of the call. I will keep doing those on a regular basis so you can, check your email. You'll get the replay of this, of course, and check your email, watch for those. And if you are interested in doing a regular program with me where we do these things, but we go on very specific topic and we go a lot deeper, you get some manifestation from me. It's called beingwe.com. That's BEINGOUI.com. And you can do this on a regular basis. So thank you for joining, and we'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Sophie.